Nothing beats the anticipation of riding a thrill ride in Disney World. The waiting in the queue, the strapping into the seat, those moments right before it begins. But with so many adrenaline-pumping, totally immersive options, which is the absolute best thrill ride in Disney World? Hey everybody, it's Chris for AllEars TV and AllEars.net. Today we're ranking the top 4 best thrill rides in all of Walt Disney World according to you. This list comes from reviews posted by our viewers on AllEars.net. Your pick for the 4th best thrill ride in Walt Disney World, with a rating of 9.40, Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith. This is definitely a fan favorite and in an elite echelon of only 4 rides in all of the Disney parks all around the world that feature inversions, which in regular terms the ride sends you upside down several times, and it's not something Disney does that often. And it uses electromagnetic technology to blast you from 0 to 57 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds.
Bailey's CB15 said, my absolute favorite ride in all of Walt Disney World. Super thrilling, the launch makes it so worth riding, and the inversion just adds to the thrill.
Ooh, yes, I love this one. I love that 0 to 60 takeoff in just 2.8 seconds, and I love that every single limo has a different soundtrack. Did you know that? My favorite one is when they do Love in an Elevator, but they very cleverly changed it to Love in a Roller Coaster.
Rock and Roller Coaster ranks among the best rides in Hollywood studios. You'll find some great resources about this attraction at AllEars.net, where we talk in depth about the powerful onboard sound system that plays a different Aerosmith song or medley based on the ride vehicle you're in. Oh yeah, and your ride vehicle? It's a super stretch limo, and within the backstory, it's provided by Aerosmith themselves to get you from their recording studio to the concert in time for the show.
There's a million things I adore about this ride, from the pre-show with Aerosmith to your arrival at the premiere. However, what makes it, to me, one of the most thrilling rides in Disney World is that initial launch. I've done it a million times now, and every single time I get butterflies in my stomach.
Rockin' Roller Coaster is such a thrilling ride. I don't even like roller coasters that much. They typically make me sick. Rockin' does not. It is a blast. You get to listen to Aerosmith rock music while you're riding. Total exhilaration. I love it so much.
This is a great thrill ride and the only one that goes upside down in Walt Disney World. And I think Aerosmith is great. I may get a little backlash for this, but I'd like to see a new band.
Fair enough. So younger riders might not get a kick out of hearing Aerosmith sing Love on a Roller Coaster the same way we did back when the ride opened in '99, but they'll get a kick out of the launch and the inversions and the fact that this is an intense roller coaster that's indoors, in darkness, with some cool blacklight effects. Think Space Mountain on a smoother track and with more to see and a higher thrill level. Now, even though this is an episode about thrill rides, chances are that this ride will be too intense for some people. If you suffer from motion sickness, fear of the dark, or have physical conditions that could be exacerbated by the launch and inversions, you're gonna want to skip this one. A reviewer named Ryan Lehman said, I am always afraid to ride this ride because of the anticipation for the launch, but I really do enjoy this roller coaster. But if you're a thrill seeker, this is one you'll want to prioritize in Hollywood studios. And it's pretty short, at just 1:22 seconds. Even if you hate it, it's over fast. A reviewer named Cassidy Roberts said, love it! So thrilling! I love Aerosmith and fast roller coasters. The pros. It's amazing music provided by one of the most famous rock bands on the planet. Even though there's a countdown so you know it's coming, it's still one of the most thrilling launches ever. This is the only ride in Disney World with inversions and one of only 4 Disney roller coasters with inversions in the entire world. The cons. It's fast and it's dark and it's loud, which means it may be too intense for some. This is one where you should take the warnings for people with back and neck problems seriously. Pay attention to the sign with all of the health warnings and face forward during the launch. If you don't like the dark or being able to see where you're going or are prone to motion sickness, proceed with caution or skip it altogether. Your pick for the 3rd best thrill ride in Disney World with a rating of 9.41. Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. This ride has been blowing our minds since 1994. How is that almost 30 years ago? And it's no less amazing today than it was back then, thanks in part to periodic upgrades to the programming of the drops over the years and some additional effects. The dropping elevator in this thrill ride was made by a real elevator company, though this one is designed to actually pull you down at speeds higher than the natural pull of gravity. But if you're scared of drop rides, just keep in mind that the fall height on this one is only about 90 feet of the building's available height of 199 feet. So I guess it could be worse, right? Or not.
Dr. Seeker's Dino Puppet says, the greatest attraction in Walt Disney World by a lot. It not only fits the theme of the park, which is lacking in Hollywood studios these days, but it also has a beautifully immersive queue with hidden gems that tell the story of the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Then you get the iconic Hollywood 1939 from Rod Sterling, and before you know it, you're free falling in a maintenance service elevator with your family, friends, and fellow strangers.
The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror is actually one of my favorite rides in all of Disney World. I like drop zones, but they scare me typically, but the Tower of Terror does enough around the drop zone that I don't realize it's a drop zone. So I get to do the fun experience without thinking about the fact that I'm free falling.
Okay, drop attractions aren't my favorite, but the theming on Tower of Terror is unmatched. It's absolutely incredible storytelling and Imagineering from beginning to end.
Fans of this ride love that it has all the storytelling and theming we've come to expect from the best Disney attractions, with an undeniable thrill level that isn't as ubiquitous in Disney parks, making it understandable why it ended up on your top thrill rides list. Probably goes without saying in a video about thrill rides, but your reviews still warn that if you're afraid of dark, heights, or suffer from motion sickness, you're going to want to skip this one.
I'm not a fan of heights. I'm under 5 feet tall, so this ride is a little scary for me, but overall a must do.
I will say that the drops are absolutely no joke. When they pull you down, it is incredibly intense. Definitely makes my stomach drop, so it's not always something I ride again and again, but it is, for me, a must visit at least once while I'm in Hollywood studios.
See, despite being scary and intense, people love this ride. Just listen to what Shelly Henrietta said in her review. Most thrilling ride in the world. I adore roller coasters, but feel as though this tops them all, and it's always such a unique ride experience, which I love. And hearing all the screams of other riders makes me cackle like an overexcited witch. Just superb, as is that review. With Disney fan BR adding, most thrilling ride ever. I want to ride it over and over again. The queue is so cool. We did hear from some of you that the effects in this ride could use some love. It utilizes the same Pepper's Ghost illusion that's been amazing guests over at the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland since 1969. So we need to ask, is the illusion timeless or outdated? We'll let you decide. The pros. Amazing classic Hollywood Studios theming. It's a drop tower style ride with dark ride elements, making this genre of ride unique to Disney parks. If you love old Hollywood and classic television, this Twilight Zone theming gives you the best of both of those worlds. The cons? It's really intense in that you drop over and over in the dark, and the programming is randomized that makes it impossible to anticipate what's next. Some of you said the effects in this ride could use an update. Even though the height requirement is only 40 inches, it's hard to imagine a 3.5 foot tall child being able to handle this ride. Your pick for the second best thrill ride in Disney World is actually a tie for first place. This ride has a rating of 9.70, but with less reviews than its partner in tie, see what we did there? Putting it in the number 2 spot. We're talking about Expedition Everest. When this roller coaster debuted in Disney's Animal Kingdom in 2006, it was the most expensive roller coaster built to date, coming in at $100 million. Originally known for its section of track that actually takes you backwards, it picked up notoriety for something kind of unfortunate not long after it opened, namely the fact that its impressive Yeti animatronic stopped working. And when they discovered they couldn't fix it without dismantling a large section of the mountain, They took the bold move of adding strobe lights to that scene, causing fans to affectionately dub the no longer animated animatronic Disco Yeti.
Expedition Everest is a super fun roller coaster. I think it's the right mix of thrill and chills. The theming and the story of the ride's so cool. If only the Yeti still moved.
Ash Bake 330 said, best roller coaster ever, so much fun, went with the family and I had to ride with a stranger and he reminded me that it went backwards. I had totally forgotten, best surprise ever.
Expedition Everest is actually one of my absolute favorite rides in all of Walt Disney World. I think that it would be great if the Yeti would work, obviously, but for me, Disco Yeti is better than nothing. And the queue, the theming, everything really is next level. I also, special shout out to the part where you go backwards. It's so thrilling that I giggle like a kid every single time I do it.
Expedition Everest is my favorite ride in Walt Disney World. You get great views of Animal Kingdom and the line is rarely too long.
Now, it's great to hear that Melissa experienced short wait times. Of course, that isn't always the case, so be sure to check the My Disney Experience app for the exact wait times on the day you're attending the park. Also, keep in mind that this is one of only a few rides in Disney World which offers a single rider line. So if you're traveling alone or willing to break up your party, definitely consider that time-saving option when it becomes available again. Now, if you aren't a fan of roller coasters, this isn't going to be the ride for you. While it doesn't have a launch or inversions like Rock 'n' Roller Coaster, it's still more intense than, say, Slinky Dog Dash and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, so you'll have to judge for yourself if this is a ride you want to try. But the rating speaks for itself on this one. Sarah D said, the best roller coaster at Disney World. It's hard to believe that it usually has less than a 10-minute wait. Take full advantage and ride this one whenever possible. Again, don't expect to have a 10-minute wait when you're there, but it's great that this happens regularly enough that people have come to think of it as the norm. Jenny Liz gives us a little bit of a reality check in her review and says, the line was long, but I felt it moved quickly. The pros. Legendary former Imagineer Joe Rohde, responsible for some of the most amazing rides, experiences, and parks in all of Disney, brought this ride to life. Just when you think you know what this ride's going to be, it goes backwards. It was only recently that this attraction's $100 million price tag was topped by Universal with Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure. The cons? Check out the link to our AllEars video about this ride and you'll get the whole story of the now famous Disco Yeti. Adrenaline junkies will find much more intense roller coasters and much more elaborate story coasters elsewhere in Orlando, including Rock 'n' Roller Coaster. While Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is only 38 inches, if you're traveling with a child who is between requirements, you may experience a fair amount of disappointment. And your pick for the best thrill ride in all of Disney World with a total of 114 reviews and a rating of 9.70? Splash Mountain. This ride is the epitome of Disney storytelling and just right thrills that most people in your family are going to love. While the story told in this ride, originally that of Brer Fox and Brer Bear chasing Brer Rabbit, is about to change to the story of the Princess and the Frog to make this ride more appealing to contemporary audiences, we have total faith in the Disney company to plus up everything that's magical about this ride with great animatronics, great music, great storytelling, and those wonderful great thrills.
Kirsten and Jake said, fun log ride with big drop. However, the Brer Rabbit theming is very outdated and most people haven't seen the movie. Can't wait for it to get redone as Princess and the Frog. You get pretty wet, which is nice on a hot day, until you have to walk around with wet hair and clothes, but I think everyone should ride at least once.
Now this drop looks intense from the outside, and it is steep at 49 feet, but compared to the drop at Jurassic Park River Adventure over at Universal Orlando Resort, which is 85 feet, this is definitely a more family-friendly drop. And not for nothing, my daughter felt 49 feet was more than enough.
Splash Mountain is really fun and definitely a must-do. I love that it's both a dark ride and a thrill ride. I just really wish you didn't get wet.
I fully agree with this ranking. Now, if we're ranking it by the most thrilling, Splash Mountain is not the most thrilling, but it is, in my opinion, the best ride in all of Disney World. I love the combination of a dark ride with that thrilling drop at the end, and I am very excited for the refurbishment. I can't wait to see what comes next for this ride. It is my number one, so I'm glad that you guys gave it number one too.
Cool Colombian 21 summed it up nicely for us. This ride is such a classic and is worth the super long wait times it normally gets. The drop feels bigger than it looks, and the ride has a perfect wet to fun ratio.
Potentially controversial opinion, my favorite thrill on Splash Mountain is not that last drop. It is one of the initial drops when you go into the laughing place. I think when you're kind of like going up and down like that, it's so much fun. That being said, it's the ride system to me that I love so much, and I'm very excited to see what they do with a Princess and the Frog overlay.
This ride is a classic, but I am so excited for the Princess and the Frog overlay. I'm a big fan of Tiana, and I am very happy that she is getting an attraction.
The pros. The drop is only 49 feet compared to Jurassic Park River Adventure at Universal with a drop of 85 feet, making it a just right thrill level for most. With 68 animal animatronics and incredible sets and lighting, this ride really does have it all. This ride has those Disney hits that will leave you humming on your way out. The cons? Generations of audiences haven't seen the movie this ride is based on. You may not get soaked, but you will at least get wet, though you may get soaked. It's super popular with all ages, so it's up there with the longest wait times in Magic Kingdom. So what do you think of this list? Did your favorite thrill ride make it, or do you feel like your fellow viewers let you down? Head over to AllEars.net to leave your reviews for everything Disney parks related, hotels, restaurants, rides, and more. You have the power to change this list right now by leaving your own review, and who knows, your opinion may be included in a future episode. Hey, if you like this video, go ahead and click that thumbs up. Be sure to stay tuned to AllEars TV and AllEars.net for more Disney news. Follow us on social media at AllEars.net. New to the channel? Check out our other AllEars videos right here, and please subscribe to AllEars.net. You clang that little notification bell so you immediately get notified when we post a new video. This is Chris for AllEars TV. See you next time.